Look, gas ain't cheap here in California. And if you drive one of these first-gen Raptors, your wallet's probably taking a back alley beating from old Gavin's tax policies. So with that said, it's probably about time we investigate some more efficient ways to keep us on the road in our internal combustion vehicles and keep us out of the poorhouse. Oh yeah, and make some more power too.
Now look, it's probably no surprise to anyone that gas prices in California are ridiculously high, and big shocker here, our democratically elected overlords just decided to add another 60-cent per gallon tax on gasoline. Now look, E85 has remained a reasonable price here in California over the years. And now I traditionally like the E85 option for something that's high performance because it keeps detonation at bay, it makes the motor run cooler, it's cheap, and you can just make more power on it, right? But traditional thinking says that you burn a lot more of it. And if you have a high performance motor with the ECU permanently set on kill, well yeah, you're right. But what does that do in a basically stock daily driver application? So look, a few months back I was contacted by this company eFlexFuel to see if I would install one of their kits on one of my vehicles, and well, I told them no, because I really wasn't interested in it at the time. With this new increase in gas costs, I figured, hey, we can do a little science here, and if it works, rock and roll. So I wrote them back and I told them that I would do it under one condition. I would do some real world testing and I'm gonna report my findings, good or bad. And if I didn't feel like this product was working or worth the cost of buying it and the time installing it, well, I'm gonna let my audience know. And they agreed. So here's the plan. We're gonna install this on my Raptor. Then I'm gonna document the average fuel consumption over 3 tanks of E85 under normal driving conditions. This is like just daily driving in LA stuff. Then we're gonna compare that to the normal average fuel consumption it gets when putting 91 in it. So far, I know after putting 10 or so thousand miles on the thing, it gets anywhere between 10.1 miles per gallon and 11.5 miles per gallon. That's the absolute best I've ever been able to get. That's all highway stuff, you know. It's a first-gen Raptor. We're gonna do a cost analysis on this to see if it actually saves money. After that, we're gonna do some testing with the draggy to see if there are some real-world performance increases in this thing. Because look, on the dyno, pretty much everything's gonna make more power on E85, but is that incremental increase in power actually gonna have any effect over a vehicle that's 7,000 pounds on 35s and basically underpowered for what it is? So with that said, let's get to work and find out.
All right, bro. So here's the deal. You get about 11 miles to the gallon on average. That's like highway driving, right?
Okay, yeah.
At best.
It ain't got no gas in it.
It's a little on the dirty side, so I do apologize, bro.
It does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. There we go. First order of business. What do we gotta do? Should we disconnect the battery or just send it?
We don't need to disconnect the battery.
Hell yeah, my man. Let's go.
That way we don't lose any memory. Let's just make sure that there's no existing issues, so there's no check engine lights for anything. That way we know I didn't cause anything.
Well, there's probably check engine lights on, so let's just send it and party. So this looks super simple. Walk me through what we got right here. When we talked about this, you did say it was like pretty straightforward,
Pretty straightforward, pretty plug and play. The only thing you have to do is a continuity test. So you just need a multimeter and a little bit of time, but it's all plug and play.
So what do we got here?
We have our main control unit. This is the brain. Continental ethanol sensor. Reads exactly the amount of ethanol that is going through your fuel and instantly tells our brain, then manipulates the duty cycle signal, and that's how it all works.
It does math while you don't have to.
Exactly.
I like that. And then what's this guy right here?
So that's a bypass module. That basically comes into play mostly for diagnostics. If you happen to wire it in backwards and you gotta go, plug that bypass module in, bypasses the system. So you're able to drive away, you come back tomorrow, work on it, flip it, do what you gotta do.
Okay, I like that for people like me that like to mess things up and not read instructions.
I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
I see we got a little bit of hose, we got some connectors here.
It allows you to add the ethanol sensor in between your fuel line and your fuel rail. So you don't need to delete or get rid of anything that's stock. You just add.
And are we putting it in the feed side or the return side?
It's always on the feed side.
Does the pump come with the kit?
For the right price, yeah.
My man, all right. Everything's got a price, baby.
So this is our harness here. This is basically set up for 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, or 8-cylinder. This is the EV6 extension. This will plug into our harness, and this basically piggybacks into your fuel injectors. One side goes into your injector, one side goes into your harness.
Okay, and so what's up with these like open ends here?
Because not all vehicles are the same, all we need is for you to do a polarity test, and then once you know exactly where continuity is, then you can build your harness. That's all you have to do. You're not testing for power, you're testing for continuity.
That's pretty straightforward, bro.
It's pretty straightforward, yeah. Besides that, you have a ground, and then you do have a ambient temperature sensor. That's basically try to just put that next to the block or underneath the manifold, and this helps with cold starts. That way, if you're in a state where it gets a little colder, that automatically tells the computer what temperature it is, and you don't have any issues with cold start. Also, you do have settings for cold start, so if you do need a little bit more on a cold start, we have up to 3 settings for that.
Bet. All right. Let's get to work, baby.
Do it. First step I like to do is connect the harness to the control module.
Okay.
And basically find where it's gonna live, usually very close to the battery.
Okay.
That way I could plug my ground nearby. And then I pretty much start routing my harness to where it's gonna go. So we're gonna access our fuel injectors. I'm gonna grab my voltmeter, but basically what we wanna do is face them in the same way and then test continuity between them, both on the left or both on the right. And then when it beeps, that's where our red wire should go. Right there.
So if it does the beep, the red goes there.
That's it. This is a hack I like to do. We get our connector here, halfway clip it in there, get one of my open ends that I need to build, and then I put my red in there. And there is an up and down position, so that's very important. So it locks in. Yep. So I go ahead and put it in there till it clicks. See, that's in the correct position. If we look at it this way, this is where a lot of people make the mistake. But I know it's on the left side, up away from the connector clip. Then I go ahead and put this other one in. Give it a quick little tug till it clicks. And then pull on it from the back, make sure they're locked in. This is how I'm gonna build the rest of the harness.
Oh, look at that. And it matches the factory stuff.
In this case, yes, it does.
Rock and roll.
Just build the rest of the harness in this pattern.
Love that.
That's it.
People, it doesn't get more idiot-proof than that. Let's go.
Oh, from the other right end.
Oh, yeah. Did I just put that in backwards?
This is very DIY, honestly. Couple hours, couple beers. You're E85 ready.
It's like a 14 beer job if you're quick with the beers.
6 beers, 7 beers, 8 beers, 9 beers.
Perfect. Now we have our 8-cylinder harness pretty much ready. This is wired in the color of the rainbow. It'll start with yellow. That'll be your number 1 wire.
Okay.
Green is number 2 for cylinder 2. Blue is cylinder 3. Purple is cylinder 4. And then it just pretty much does the same thing. Yellow 5, green for 6, blue for 7, purple for 8. That's your wiring order. It does come with an app, so if there's anything going on where it's not firing on the app and you wired it to the proper cylinder, you'll know exactly what cylinder is the one that's not firing.
When it comes to getting E85 at the pump, I've seen, stickers that say like, oh, it can be anywhere from like 50% to 80%, like on E85. How do I measure that?
So you don't need to. The app actually reads the ethanol content live with the sensor. It does it for you. And honestly, most of the stuff that we get at the pump here in California is always very consistent at 80%. You could do blends, you could do a mix to help yourself if you say, oh, I want to get the best MPG with the most horsepower. The E60 blend is really good. You could just look at the ethanol content sensor reading and then start making your adjustments based off that.
If you were to mix higher octane fuel and then ethanol, would you technically get a better burn?
Yeah, you do.
Ah, okay.
A lot cooler.
So I put C85 in this.
It'll work.
Hell yeah.
It'll work.
Let's go. We might have to do a dyno day with this. Oh, hi, Reba. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I love how straightforward this is.
Pretty hard to mess it up if you read the instructions.
Yeah, the reading the instructions part, okay? That's going to be most difficult for any car guy.
So we got our box mounted right here, nice and clean. Got all our wiring tucked up, braided up nicely. Super clean, man. This came out, God, this is so easy. So this is step 1, really. Well, step 2, if you will.
We got to find the line to the fuel, which is going to be connected to our fuel rail.
Oh.
And we disconnect there.
That guy way back there?
Right here. Yep.
That's awesome.
Let's do it.
Fun stuff. All right. Let's go. We're trucking along here, baby.
Got that boy out. I can see it.
You can see it? Yep, perfect. So we basically disconnected our fuel line. And
Okay,
now,
right there at the rail? Okay. Oh, so that's what those little standoffs are.
Yeah, so we're gonna use these to build our line to pretty much squeeze our ethanol sensor in between.
So okay, that's tight. So we just use a rubber line so we can bring the ethanol sensor out and then you can loop it back into that one.
So it does come with straights and 90s. So the less fuel line, the better, but you know, as long as it all looks pretty and there's no kinks, whatever works for you.
Rocket. Hey, you know what? Whatever is nicest and easiest and not gonna bind up or anything like that. Correct. I'm there for it.
All right, so we're down to our last piece here, which is our ambient temperature sensor for cold starts. This basically just needs to lay close to the block or underneath the manifold, somewhere safe.
All right, so just like that, with very little work, this whole thing is in, nice, cleanly installed. Not too much to do here. This is kind of crazy how simple this is. Flex fuel sensor right down here. All the plugs are in. We got our ground. So what's next? We just
Prime the system and let's give it a whirl.
Okay, let's go. Oh, we got this beautiful California legal gas tank, huh?
That's right.
God, I hate these. All right, so we just threw about 5 gallons of E85 in this thing. We're gonna start it back up. We're gonna see what the app reads for how much ethanol content we got now.
Start her up. The device detect a yes. So we have one that we need to go back and inspect.
Okay, number 6.
That's it. They look a little bit twisted.
Okay.
So they might have not gone in correctly. So we're gonna just pretty much correct that and then see if that does the trick.
Cool.
So
That's dope that it tells you what's wrong. Love that.
Installer error, no problem. We can fix that.
Yeah, that was my bad because it was my side.
Straighten these out, click them in place. Okay.
Good click.
Okay, let's give that a shot now.
Okay. All right, let's see what you do. Hey. Yeah. All right, we got all of them.
That was it.
So we got 9% ethanol in the fuel, 10 right now. This is just pump gas.
Yeah, that's regular pump gas.
Okay. Nice. Hell yeah, it looks like all cylinders are firing. We hear my exhaust leaks, so that's great.
Normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to add E?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so we got to top this thing off with some E85, and then we can get to some testing, baby. But before we do, I want to thank today's sponsor, Upside. So, you might be wondering what the heck Upside even is. Well, let me put it like this. Let's say you drive nothing but American V8s that get single-digit gas mileage, which is awesome, but not awesome on your pocketbook. Well, that's where Upside comes in to help out, because Upside gives you cash back on everyday purchases that you should be earning cash back on anyway. Let me explain. So we just spent $39.30 topping this truck off, right? Now, all you got to do to get the cash back on something like this is you open the app, you claim the offer, you make your purchase like normal, and then you just report it back to Upside, and then you'll have cash back in your account in 2 to 3 business days. It's super easy to use, and actually it's really awesome. So at this gas station in particular, if we were gonna be running premium like we normally would in this truck, we would earn 56 cents a gallon back on it, which is insane and definitely helps because of all the taxes that our government here in California likes to put on this fuel. Make sure you click the link in the description below, download the Upside app, and get 25 cents back per gallon on your first purchase of gasoline using code MRZ. So, thanks to Upside for sponsoring today's video. Let's get to testing. Okay folks, so here's how we're setting up our testing protocol to get an honest average of the fuel consumption of this truck on E85. Now, to keep testing as accurate as possible, we're not including that first tank of fuel into our average since it had a 50-50 ethanol premium mix. Once that tank was burned off and I was able to get the ethanol mix north of 70, that's when we begin our testing. Now, before starting this test, my Raptor is getting a consistent 11 miles per gallon on 91 octane fuel, and then during long stretches of like city driving, like bumper to bumper traffic, sometimes that would drop down to 10.4, 10.5 miles per gallon. Now, over the course of 3 full tanks of ethanol in normal driving conditions with no other modifications other than the eFlexFuel kit, this truck's getting an average of 10.86 miles per gallon. Now, that means we only saw a 0.14 mile per gallon loss in fuel efficiency, which is insane. Now, the big shocker to this is the cost. Now, my average cost of E85 over those 3 tanks came out to $2.64 a gallon. Now, if you compare that to the current local average of $5.15 per gallon for premium, that's a savings of $2.51 a gallon. Now, let's break down some math here. This kit costs $749, which means
means at the current rate of savings, it would take us about 298-ish gallons to basically make up for that cost. So essentially, after one oil change worth of miles in this truck, it's paying dividends. Let's talk performance, because this is what kind of shocked me on this. This truck really seems to like the E85 and the higher octane count that has over the 91. It runs a lot cooler, it runs a lot smoother, doesn't hard start nearly as much, also doesn't really seem to knock as much, which is great. But the old butt dyno tells me that this thing is making significantly more torque throughout the entire power band than it was on normal fuel. The most noticeable difference that I saw was at highway speed. So at 91, once you get up to about 80 miles an hour, the thing's running out of steam. E85, the truck pulls consistently harder from 80 all the way up past the triple digits, and it also doesn't seem to need to downshift nearly as much, which I'm guessing is playing a huge role in why it's saving so much more fuel. Before, if I'm trying to like accelerate a little bit for passing or anything on the highway, that thing was kicking down gears left and right. Now it can stay in the same gear and it makes enough torque to casually pass stuff, which is awesome. Now we're not just doing the math here off of like estimates and butt dynos and stuff. We wanted to get some real world numbers, so we did break out the draggy. Here's what we got. On E85, the best time we were able to pull off was a 7.44 second 0 to 60 time. Now when you compare that to our best time of 8 seconds 0 to 60 on 91, it's a pretty impressive bump, especially for, you know, zero tuning and 1.5-ish hours worth of work. My final thoughts on this is I am a believer now. Like, I am stoked on E85. This blew my mind. Now, I don't know if this is very like specific to the Raptor, why it's getting like really good gas mileage on E85. Maybe it has something to do with the thing being clapped out. Maybe it has something to do with like California gas being really trash, but it runs so much better and cleaner and way cooler. Honestly, this seems like a plus. Now, this is worth noting. While driving on that first tank of fuel with a 50-50 mix, it was actually getting better gas mileage, like it was in the 12s, right? I just didn't want to include that in the average because I think that would like skew everything off, you know, pretty big. My take on it is I love this, and I am now a believer, and this kit was super easy to install. I mean, the whole thing took us maybe 2 hours to install, and that's with us BSing, filming stuff. It's not rocket science, and the app is really cool. You can track your fuel mileage, you can see when all your injectors are working or not, you can track your ethanol content. It's just really cool. So I support this. Honestly, didn't want to convert to E85 because I thought it would be more of a pain in the ass, and I didn't think that the actual savings would net out to a positive. I figured it'd just be kind of like, oh, you have the option to run E85, that's cool. The fact that you don't have to tune anything, it does everything for you, it's basically idiot proof, that gets my stamp of approval. If you want to see us put this on other vehicles, let me know in the comments. If you'd like to see a dyno back-to-back run on 91, E85 on this truck, or any of my other vehicles, comment below. Hell, if enough of you want to see it, I'm down to do it. I'm actually curious of like how much more power it actually puts down, especially on something that has a ton of miles, a stock transmission, and it's on 35s. You know, it's gonna lose a lot of power through the drivetrain, but I'm curious to see what it actually picks up with no other mods. This is my most stock vehicle, so I feel like this is a pretty good litmus test. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you next week.